Yeah, here you are. It's Friday afternoon and proof that I'm still kicking, right? So, not a bad week this week. No disasters like there were last week, anyhow. And I'm feeling quite a bit better. Got all the dressings off those wounds I had. And just little tiny slits, 4 little slits in my stomach where they did arthroscopic surgery. That stuff heals up pretty quick. Still got a little bit of pain, but I haven't had to take a pain pill today. I did have to take one last night after bragging in the afternoon that I didn't have to take any, but there you go. So likely I'll have to take another pain pill tonight. We'll just see how it goes. Anyway, there's another week on the, wait a second, I'll swing you around here. There. Another week on this machine here gone by. Now I finished up welding along here, all this stuff along the side here, and didn't do anything more down there. And I didn't do anything underneath because I didn't want to get into calisthenics. And then I went over and started on the, in here I took out all the seats and I took out everything that was in here and figured out where there's holes. Now, Bernie Rubble has been here and has lived here for a while, so that has to be all fixed up over there. But this side here, not so bad. And I think I can use this side here for a bit of a pattern about how that should look over there. Close anyhow. It won't be exactly the same as out of factory, but it'll be close enough for me. So there. November 4th, maybe it's November 3rd. It's November in 2022, November. Feeling pretty good, and that's about all for this week. Likely a little bit shorter this week, but a couple of babbling on stories, so you have to listen to them too. See you next week. Enjoy this one. Bye for now. Yeah, here we are, new week. So it's Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday. Saturday kind of got used up in other stuff. Remember I talked about one time fixing the chimney of the roof of the house, chimney in the house. Well, it didn't get fixed properly, so it leaked just as badly after I fixed it as it leaked before I fixed it when the rain came. So I was back up there again yesterday, redoing stuff, trying a different way. Anyhow, but here I am. So last week, finished up on this side, right? We're all okay over here now. And along the window and everything like that. I still have to do that inside bit right here, right? Haven't got that done yet. Then see all this pile of stuff here. This is kind of a cool story, hey? All that pile of stuff, which is parts that have come over the time, mostly for suspension and everything like that, and rubbers and blah, blah, blah. I had them all piled up in the front of the van there. And so I lifted up the van. I had the van lifted up, and I had it likely lifted up for the last month like that. And it was a little bit heavy on the front, so there was no weight on this one back here. I could move it back and forth. So I put some weight back here, put all these things back in here so that the weight's back on this end of it, and a little bit better balanced than it was. So maybe a safer operation. You never know. And then this thing here, I've got like that beam that I built up there, kind of keeps this from tipping that way in any way at all, or tipping backwards. Maybe I'll build another one for the other side so that it's maybe make it safer, maybe not, who knows. But I won't get there today. Now, back onto the task at hand, which is this panel here to get fixed up. So I'll get working on that today. Have to do the inside stuff first and then get on to the outside stuff. So there you go. Yeah, there. Now I took the grinder to this stuff here, and it's a little bit pitted on the outside, but it seems to be okay on the inside, and I think we're okay there. I'm not gonna dig into it. This part here I'll fix. I'm gonna cut this up along here a bit higher. Where am I here? Whoop, yeah. I'll cut along this line here higher up so I can get into there and actually work at it from the top. I could work at it from the inside, but it's a lot easier if I just cut this out and make it accessible. Fix that, fix all that stuff, then get at her. There, now I made a piece of metal. It was 2.5 wide here, and less than that there, and less than that there. I fitted it pretty close to the inside of that, and then on here there's about an 1/8 of an inch overhang. So I'm going to try and cut along here and cut and butt that into there, and then see how that works out. We'll see. I see that I just didn't do it quite right there, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, here we go. Yeah, here I am getting way ahead of you again. So here's that piece in there, and I'll paint that up before I close it in there. I'll paint it with the black paint stuff. Then this piece here, hopefully that flange will sit on top of that. A little bit more grinding right here maybe. And then now I'm down onto this end here. So first off, it has to have a piece that goes up. Well, this side here goes up all the way, right, to there. This side here goes to there and goes in. And then another piece goes, then this part here goes across to join in there. I think I can do that somehow or other. Yeah, so now here, I've got this blowtorch here, right? And you've seen it hanging around in different things, doing whatever I do with it. What does he do with it? Well, all that rubber stuff that's in the... that rubber stuff that they use for body is really, really tough to get off. But you put a bit of heat to it, usually from the back side, and it just sort of melts it, and then you can peel it off there and get it out of the way. That's about all it takes. And then you've got time. Like, it don't have to be too much of a rush here. And I've got a nice little chisel that just reach in there and away goes that rubber shit, which is, you know, it's good stuff for the body work, but it sure gets in the way when you're trying to weld anything. Now I'm just trying to figure out how this all goes together here. Because I got my piece, right? I've built a piece. Here's a piece. It's supposed to go in here. Now, I was just trying to figure out whether it's supposed to be just butted into that or flange. And I think it's just a butt into there. So I'll just put it in there nicely and weld it. And then it's got to make this dippy thing in there. We'll figure that out somehow. I think I can. Well, let's see what happens. Yeah, so now see now this has got a little bit of a hoop in there, so I made that on there just by cutting a relief. I could have put it in the strinker and stretcher, but it would have got curved instead of like a sharp angle there. Now this will sort of fit in here, right? And it's going to drop down a bit when everything's done. It'll drop down a little bit. Wow, come on. There. It'll drop down, and then it's got to be this way a little bit for this piece to go in. So this piece here goes in, and I'll put them together, and I'll spot weld them with the spot welder, and then get it welded onto there somehow or other. So, and then this piece here goes in. The big long piece goes in, which I've already got cut, more or less. Anyway, let's see what happens here. Yeah, so there's kind of what it's going to look like, eh? So the flange is there, and then now I'll just get the spot welder and weld them together, put a bit of a curve in it, whatever you call that, crown, for going on to the body panel there, and then see what happens. Okay, I'll get the spot welder out, and maybe I'll even turn on the camera for that, will I? We'll see. Yeah, now I'll see if I can do this without knocking the camera over. So the spot welder's like that. Then you just put it in, tighten down the clamp, and hit this button over here that you can't see. Count to about 10. 7, 8, 9, 10. And there's a nice little spot weld, right? So now I can take that off of there. Now you'll be able to see what's going on. So I'll put one here. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I can take this clamp off of here. One more weld right here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they look like they're welded. I'll put one more at the end here just because. Just because I can, right? There. So there, now, that worked out all right. Here, I'll see if I can swing this camera around the other way now. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There we go. So that time it worked. So here's the spot welding, and it, you know, it's got pretty good penetration. You can tell by the amount of heat that went through it. In fact, it welded right through a hole in that one. Anyway, so now the next thing is to get this to fit into here, which is just sort of a button cut, but first I have to see how it's, there's not much of a crown to it, but they're little tiny. Wait till I put a ruler on there. Give them an inch and what do you got, hey? There may be not any crown on that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of a crown there. You can see the way that it happens. So I'll put a bit of a crown into that with the shrinker and shrinker in this case, and see how that works out. So I'll do that and I'll come back to you. Yeah, so I'll just put a dab of weld here and what do you call that? A spot weld? No, it's a tack. Put a tack here and I'll put a tack there. I'll cut this piece in to fit, and then we'll worry about getting it to the right height. Yeah, now here, this is in the spot and getting welded in. So I'll just keep on working at it and see about getting it without overheating it too badly. Now that went a lot easier than I thought it would. Maybe I'm learning something. I learned a few things on the other side. So there's just this big piece to put in now after this is done, and there's still, like, I've got to do some plug welds from the other side there. You can see these holes coming through, but that's all right. We'll get that sorted out. Yeah, there, did I show you that? I forget. Anyhow, that's all in there now. Now, while you weren't watching, or while I was working on that, I'd let it cool down, and then I'd be working on this for a bit. So this thing here, whoops, another one of these big slices, right? That's where you're pointing. You're pointing the right way. So it goes in about here somewhere. I'll just put a magnet on that and hold it right. And here. So that slides in about there. And then I'll do the same thing. I'll put a little bit of tack weld there, a little bit of a tack weld there to hold it down while I plug weld it on the inside. Did I point right? Yeah, tack weld. So first off, I think it's about ready to go. I'm going to cut and butt along the top, and I'll see if I can get it to come down, cram down pretty good. There's no way to make it cram down except for if I go and put a screw in it somewhere. What'll I do? Maybe I will, but if I put a tack of a weld there, then the screw won't hold it down. So, oh dear me. Anyway, I'll see what I can come up with. There, now this is all set to cut and butt. So I did a little bit of a tack right there, and I pushed down as hard as I could. Did a bit of a tack right there, and I pushed down as hard as I could, so that this is a reasonable facsimile of the proper gap there. And it looks like it's going to be about right. I'll be. Yeah, so I pushed down as hard as I could here. This is take 2 here. Pushed down as hard and put a little tack on here. Pushed down hard on here and put a little tack on there. And then I think that's a reasonably good fit. So I'll do the cut and butt across the top here and along this side. And then I'll have to dig inside there to do the plug welds. See how that works out. Yeah, so here's how this cut and butt works. It's now, if you've watched me in the past, you know, you've seen me do this. But for those of you that maybe haven't seen this, it's a Fitzy fabrication thing. So if you look online and you'll find Fitzy's Fabrications. There's a guy up in Newfoundland that does some pretty good metal work. Way better than I do. Anyhow, but he should trademark this, but that's his way of doing stuff. He puts the piece of metal, like this piece of metal is overlapping the underneath metal, and then you just take your grinder and cut along using a 45-degree angle to cut along that line there, and then this slides right in and makes a very narrow gap for welding. In fact, right here it's a little bit too narrow. It didn't slide in all the way, but I'll get that fixed up as I go. I'll put a dolly behind there or something, and I don't know, can't reach in there. Anyhow, I'll figure something out. So now I've cut it from here. I've cut this edge up, and I've cut to here. And so now I'll cut to this. I'll cut through that weld and up to here. Then I'll put these welds, push it in, and put the welds back on, and then carry on. So one about an 8-inch, 6 or 8 inch, 6-inch chunk at a time. What's that? 10 centimeters a deck, right? There you go. That's all cut and butted in there, and see that's nice narrow gap there. That's easy to weld. Not perfect. Like here, it's a little bit wide. Sometimes the blade gets away on you a bit. Right here, I got to maybe I'll pound on it a bit with the hammer and see what happens. Yeah, there, that helped some. There's a better fit there now. You can feel the, like if you run your finger across it, you can feel if it's pretty flat. Now I don't get it perfect like that Fitzy there. He seems to be able to get it pretty damn close to perfect all the time. But I get it, as I get more done, more than doing more, then I seem to get a bit better at it. But we'll just see how it goes. Now I got to reach in behind and pull out that piece of metal that cut off the upside of the, like this part here, a piece of metal cut off. So I should be able to reach in there and get that. I'll take a look and see. Yeah, so like here's the piece of metal that came out of there. Sometimes you weld it on again after cutting it off. It gets welded to itself again from the old welds. But there's part of it. Whoop, sticking to me. There's a bit more of it. Should be a bit here. This one here is not very thick. It's only just hardly big enough to get with a grinder. But there's a bit more of it over here. So there's that piece of it. And I think that's about all of it. So that feels pretty good. Excuse me. I'll go out there and, well, first I'll come in here and see if I can butt weld these points down in here. See what happens with that. Oh, it's not butt weld, it's plug weld these ones here. I see a bit of light there that I can likely weld up from up here. Couldn't see that from the other side. See what happens. I'll work on it. Yeah, now all that being said, it's pretty near quitting time here, so I'll come back and do this tomorrow. So I have to do the plug welds on the inside and then do this butt welding on the outside. So that's actually coming along pretty good. But I still have to fix the floor bit in there, so that's another chore before I finish this back quarter. Yeah, so here I am, sort of back at it. I went to town today
to pick up some of that rust converter stuff and try it out here, just see what'll happen here and the places around where it looks like it needs it around here. And don't you know, Canadian Tire, a great place, right? So it's got this rust converter, which I was able to pick up. So just down the aisle from that, though, I've been looking for one of these little fiber hammers here because I don't have one, and lots of times I could use it. And I've always been looking for a dolly, and here they have this whole kit of stuff here at Canadian Tire. It's got a dolly like that. It's got a dolly like that there. Another dolly over here, it looks like that. And another is like they call it a body, what do they call it? A auto body repair kit or something like that, they call it. Dolly like that. And then it's got these other three hammers. One with a pointy end, right? I have one like that and it works very well, I like it. One with a sticky end like that. I also have one of them, but it doesn't hurt to have another. And then a double-ended one like that. So that whole thing there, less than $90. So I thought, well, shit, I'll take that for less than $90. That'll be no problem. And let's see if I can look after it. But I have another couple of dollies around here, so that's good. That'll make things work good in the shop, I hope. Or I'll have the thing when I need it anyhow. Anyhow, there you go. I'll try out this rust converter. I'll spray it on and show you. Yeah, so there I sprayed it on this part here, up and down. I sprayed it on all this stuff around here, and I'll just check. I'll let it set overnight and I'll check tomorrow. But I'm not really doing anything today. I'm just checking out stuff. And made a trip to town. I also sprayed it in here. I didn't clean anything in there. Sprayed it in there just to see what'll happen. Likely I'll have to clean that up and spray it again. And then a few spots over here where I just sprayed it. So see what the action will be. Anyhow, that's experiment number 1. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Talk to you later. Yeah, so here I am. Let me see, hang on a second here. Yeah, that's me right there. Hey, so back at the shop after about a week off or so, and I'll show you what I've got going on. Yeah, so here I remember the other day I put on some rust converter here. That was the day after I got out of hospital. I just came out here and sprayed it on there because I wanted something to do. It seems to have converted the rust. It seems to be all right. I don't know what. I guess we'll go with it and see what happens. And the same thing over here. Seems to have converted the rust all right. So I'm going to go ahead today. I'm going to take it easy and just weld up along this seam here. There's a patch underneath there on the inside in there to do that I don't want to get into calisthenics to be doing today. But I'll get to it one of these days soon. So I'll just finish up welding up the outside here, and that'll be this outside looked after. Yay. While I was here, I figured I'd fix up Gus's oil stick for his lawnmower. So it was a plastic connection here. Then this silly little thing here is about a $60 item. So I just welded a little bit of a nut or a bolt onto there, and then drilled a hole through and threaded it through. Make sure it works right, and then we'll put some epoxy, fill it up with epoxy so that it's got some strength to it. And that should last for a little while. We'll see what happens. Sorry, yep. So here now, I tack welded it here, and it was held here, so that's pretty good for that line along the bottom here. That has to be spot welded from the inside or plug welded from the inside. Anyway, and I've worked along, I just work along and dab, 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 dab. You've seen it before, all the way around until I get to the end. I do that about 3 times, and it's getting pretty warm, so I just stop and let it cool down. So the trick is to do something while you're letting it cool down. So I decided that wallets on the cooling cycle. I'll try to see if I can take the carpet out of the front of the car here. It seems to be coming along all right. Well, pretty well. The carpet is pretty well done for, but the undercoating seems to be pretty good for, you know, it's been around since 1982. We'll just see how that works out. Anyway, that's coming along. Yeah, here it is, the passenger side. It actually looks very good. A little bit of work to do around here. Not too bad though. But the driver's side, which I'll get around to here now. My best friend, well, I have two friends, Bernie Rubble and Fred Flintstone. They've been here. They live here. So, I guess I have to do some repairs here. That's actually not too tough to fix that up, I don't think. At least it's fairly flat and fairly level. And I'll just cut it out of here and see what happens. See what I have to cut out and put in. Looks like the frame is okay. I think it's all just sitting on top of the frame without any problems there. So there you go. Hey, another Bernie Rubble car. Everything's a Bernie Rubble car. So I'll this will be in the future pretty soon. Somebody tried to fix it here one time, but then they didn't fix the rest of it, so that's pointless, right? Oh well, I'll see what I can come up with. That's later. Right now I'll go down and finish up what I was doing out here. The welder's cooled off, so I presume that the rest of everything here is cooled off. I just have to fill in a few more holes here, and then I'll grind it up and show you what it looks like. How's that? Back up here a bit. There we go. There we go. Now, let me have a light on that, hey? Light on that. That's not too bad at all along there. I'll be happy with that. So what do I use for, like there's a few pinholes to fix up along the way. I'll do that tomorrow, I think. I'm pretty near had enough today. I use this like Fitzy's fabrication. He uses 24 grit or 36 grit all the time for doing that kind of stuff. And I did for a long time, but then I started using this 60 grit stuff. And it seems to take it down just as quickly and give it a nicer, little bit nicer finish at the end. So I'm going to stick with the 60 stuff until such time as I find a reason not to. Now, one of the big reasons that I liked using the 60 stuff was when you're using that 24 and 36 grit stuff, it just throws all sorts of chunks in your face. But I do have this chunk repellent thing here. That helps an awful lot. Anyway, there we go. I'll leave it at that for today. I guess we got to be tomorrow. I don't want to get into any calisthenics yet. Tomorrow, maybe we'll see how I feel, whether I can get an underneath thing done or not, and we'll carry on. What day is it? Wednesday. So I got a couple of days, and I can put out a video maybe on Friday. Oh boy, there you go. How's that? Feeling better, and it's only like 4:15, but I've had enough for today. See you tomorrow. Yeah, here I am. A little bit late getting started today. Now, I have to figure out how to get that seat off there. I think I'll get a bunch of WD-40 on it, see if I can get it moving smoothly, and then I'll see about how to get it off of there. I'm not really sure. It did move, but it wasn't very easy to make it move. Then the next thing, as you can see, it's burning rubble-ish. Where am I? Over there. Yeah, burning rubble-ish over there. So that's got to be looked after. Over this side, not bad. A little bit of rust right here, and I'll look after that. But first off, I'll see about getting all the dashboard stuff out of it, which should come fairly easily. And the visor, it's only got one visor. And then I'll see about getting the windshield out of it too before I get the dashboard out. I guess it'd be easiest. So that'll be on the list here. See how it goes. I still have to, like as you were aware from yesterday or the day before or whenever, I got that put all back together and welded. I haven't got it plug welded on the inside here yet. And underneath there's a piece down you can't see, but if you look through that hole, you might be able to see down there. Yeah, you can see light down there. So that's got to be a piece of metal put in there, but I'm not ready yet health-wise to do calisthenics in there. So I'll save that. Same thing with the butt weld or the plug welding, which is down in these holes here. I'm not ready to do calisthenics in there. So as soon as I feel better, I'll do that. But for now, I'll just do stuff that I can manage, I guess, hey? Yeah, I guess sounds pretty simple. There's a little lever thing for moving the seat back and forth. And then behind here, you pull front seat adjusting lever upward and push the seat forward. Pry locking lever 2 upward with a screwdriver and push seat forward out of seat tracks. So we'll see how that works out here. Give it a try. Yeah, there now I got it so it would move fairly easily. Lots and lots of oil on there to get that cleaned up a bit. Now, here's the little thing. That's the thing they talk about, lifting that up. And here's the little locking thing right here. So I'll see if I can pry on that. Supposed to be able to just pry that up, right? Easier said than done, right? Something pries up here. I'll work on it a bit and then I'll get back to you. Yeah, there, it pries up easy when you've got no pressure on it when it's not sitting up against that. So now I'll see if I can push it forward here. See, maybe I'll just set the camera up here where you can watch. Nope, that camera won't stay there at all. So I'll show you after I think I just push it forward past that little blocker there, and then it should come right out. We'll see. Yep, indeed, that's sort of what happened here. I haven't got it all the way off yet, but I think it's going. Hey, and underneath the seat is a cassette case. And who's this? Who's this? Daryl Hall and John Oates. Hall and Oates. Oh yeah. Oh my. No cassette here, thank God. Oh well. There you go. Been around for a while, that one. I don't know if I looked inside the machine. No radio there to look inside. So there was formerly a cassette in here. Yeah, there now. That seat's officially out of there. Good. I'll take it over and put it in the other shop. It's actually not in bad shape, that seat, but I'll see about getting it fixed up before I put a new one. I don't know what the other one looks like. It's upstairs somewhere. Up in the long-term storage. We'll worry about seats later. Yeah, now this thing here that makes it so that the seat swivels, right? There's 4 bolts. These are captive bolts from below. I got that side off already. There's no mention of it in the book. I don't know why. So anyway, I'll get this off and then we'll clean them up and paint them and put them back on later. But just my trusty impact wrench. 1/2 inch or 13 millimeters. They come off pretty easy. Then the next thing is to not lose the damn things, right? And then this just lifts off. Well, you see how that little hoopy handle there comes through? So you have to turn it, once you go pull it, just turn it sideways and pull it up sideways and it'll come out. Did you follow that? So it fits through there and then it gets you in there and turn it sideways to go the other way and it goes back in. That's all in good shape, nothing wrong with it. Underneath, just the top is a bit rusty. And then underneath here, more debris. Cigarettes and stuff, right? Who knows what that is? Lots of debris in an old car. But money, always going up money. Mostly nickels. Nickels and pennies, I don't know why. But no big cash. Looking for big cash, looking for big money. So this little, get a bit of grease on it before I put it back together. And I'll just put these nuts back on here so I don't ruin anything in here. And that looks pretty good. Now I'll get this carpet, the rest of this carpet out of here. That is for something, I don't know what. I think this carpet is just glued on, or who knows. Oh, there's a compartment underneath here. I think you can put an extra battery in here if you want. Or, in this case, a spoon and a card of matches. I wonder, and maybe, whatever this electricity, that's electricity going to there somehow or other. Cool. There's some sort of a German warning there. So I'll just see now this, you see, needs repairing in there. So I'll get that done also while we're working on it. Anyway, there you go. That's interesting. So the main battery goes there. I think you can put an auxiliary battery here. And we'll consider that in the future sometime. Yeah, there you go. So you could put seats in here without the twirligig thing, eh? So I think that twirligig thing seems to be a Westfalia part, but it seems to become as part of the van anyhow. I don't know. Who knows? Anyhow, that's the way that is right there. I'll put it back the same way it was. For now, I'll see if I can get this carpet off of here, and then I can start maybe taking the window up. That'll likely be tomorrow sometime. Yeah, now that floor piece here, so I got everything out of here, and I've got it cleaned up with a vacuum cleaner for a bit. Where's the vacuum? Is that it? Yep, there's the vacuum. So I cleaned it up with a vacuum, but this looks like I put a piece of patch in there. I'm not really sure. But obviously it went the same way as the one before, just rusted out. And then I don't know what happens underneath there, but I'll cut that all away. Well, eventually I'll get it cut away and figure out what's going on. Get it fixed. To my satisfaction, anyhow. Just this side seems to be bad. The other side, there's a little bit of cutting over there to do, but not too bad. This whole business here, I'll make this piece before I cut anything out of there, because otherwise I'd never get the shape right. So I'll get that piece made somehow or other. Likely in 3 or 4 pieces, because this part here is good. So that's all right. I'm happy with that. And then and that's fairly straight. So this is curved here, so I'll have to do a flange there and then make it go up. But I'll figure that out as we go along and make it sort of fit right. Now the other side, I'll show you. I think I've shown you before, but I don't remember. Oh, about time to quit for the day anyhow too. The other side here, like this all feels pretty solid, but that's that black paint, and then anywhere I see that black paint is danger, danger. That's where they've been fixing before. Now whether it's right or wrong, who knows. But I'll take a look at it from underneath and above and see what I can figure out. I'll put the needle scaler and clean all that black stuff off there and see what I can find from there. Anyway, looking manageable. That's actually not bad. That's not as bad as the Triumph was, and it's not even as bad as the BMW. Yeah, the BMW was about that, like that, eh? That's about as bad as it gets. There's a couple of patches I haven't done to the back floor yet, but they're pending attention. I'll get them done eventually. So there, that's all for today. I'll see you tomorrow with the 82 Volkswagen van. Wait a sec, see if it's... Yeah, there. I can make this thing turn around and look at me, hey? Look at that. So, yeah, that's all for today. I'll see what I can do tomorrow. Just want to prove that I'm reasonably healthy and looking okay. My voice is a little bit hoarse, but that's the way that is for now until it gets better. Tomorrow is the day I take all the dressings off, and today was a painkiller-free day. So so I'm actually feeling pretty good. There you go. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Yeah, so here I am. Friday now. Back at it for, a couple hours or 3 or 4. Anyway, gonna work on the front end, like the front floor business and the door entry stuff. I'll just show you here. Maybe. Yeah, there. So there. This business here. Now I don't know why it has there's holes all through here. Don't know why it has those things there. Like the door seals down here. And then there's this door here needs some help down there too. Anyway, I got to do the other side first because it's a little bit worse shape. Then I'll take a look at this side when I get that side over there done. But I don't know for sure what's going on there with all that business. But perhaps perhaps what I'll do is I'll take the needle scaler and just scale all that stuff there. It looks like they did a repair here before, and it looks like they put in a patch here, which wasn't very good. And who knows what else. So I'll needle scale it, and then I'll vacuum it, and then I'll see where it is. I think this is windshield wiper fluid, but I'm not really sure. We'll just check it out from underneath there somehow. Anyway, that's where I'm going to go right now. This door here seems to be pretty solid there. There's some rust there. We'll just have a look at it when I get there. Well, this inner cover is sort of pulled off a bit. I know that window regulator doesn't work, so that all has to come apart here one of these days. Oh well, we'll get there. Yeah, there I took the needle scaler to everything, and then underneath here they had that black stuff all over it, black paint all over it. A little bit of work right here on the cross frame, but only a tiny bit. It's actually not bad. And then this piece up here, I don't know if you can see that, right in here, that needs some serious repair, but we'll get there. First off, I'm going to just sort of see if I can make this piece in here to fit in the floor, and then I did needle scale around the bottom of the door in it, and it's needing help. Needle scaled here, and it just seems to be a little bit of surface rust. Right, where am I pointing? Right here, a little bit of surface rust. So I'll see if I can get, this is the windshield wiper stuff. I'll see if I can get that out of the way so that I can go ahead and repair all this stuff. Anyway, and then underneath, it looks pretty good. Like I scaled off all that black stuff that the previous guys put on there. And underneath that is the original factory paint and no rust. So that makes me happy. There you go. Yeah, there I've got that windshield washer stuff out of there. There were 3 bolts, 1, 2, 3. This one here this one broke off. Electricity to it and the hose. And this top part here, the inner part screws out and then the outer part screws out. So there you go. And I just put them over in the other shop for now. We'll see what happens. Yeah, now, after much looking at it and thinking about it, it's all the interconnectedness of everything. So this part here, whoops, where am I pointing? See this stuff here? It's sort of got to be fixed around there before I fix this part here. And then that leads into the whole floor business over here. But what I might do is just cut out that piece of flooring so I can see things properly, because it looks like they welded it. They actually butt welded it along there. So I'll just cut above that rust line and see what it looks like underneath. Here I am. So there. That's all cut out of there. A little bit more to clean up right in here. I'll get that cut out soon. And then down to here. I didn't do anything at this edge here because I want that edge to be able to follow it. Then here's the old piece that I took out. Like that's the top. And this is where they put the patch in before. They just put it in and what you call it, lap welded it on there, or in some cases didn't weld it on there, just on there. Anyway, so that'll be destined for the garbage bin, but I have to save this little bit right here until I get a pattern for this bit down here that I was pointing at that you weren't looking at. So now, a couple of little spots of rust right out there on the center panel, and I think I'll just put little patches into them. So I have to get this gas pedal thing figured out, how to get that out of there. This metal thing used to be attached to something, I'm sure, but I don't know what. And a little bit of a brace that goes right underneath here, and that's likely what's happening with that bit of rust up there, because that's where the brace comes along and it's collecting water there. So I'll clean that up and see what I can do about it. Anyway, there we go. I'll carry on. Yeah, so I figured I'd just take the door card off while I was here. That looks like it's pretty factory fresh there, which is okay. And it's sealed down here pretty good. That's really something. So I'll figure out what I have to do. Yeah, so this piece here, this is, where am I? Can you see that? There's the steering wheel and where the seat sits and all that kind of stuff. Down here in the floor frame, this part here is good. I've cleaned that off and it all looks nice. This part here was rusted through, but the side rails are okay, so I'm just going to put a new piece on the top here. Whoops, can you see that? Was I pointing right in here, from here to here? I'll put a new piece on the top there, and that should cure that a little bit. Then this part here, I've cut that. Here it is here, right? I cut that out, and then I'm not really sure how that goes together, but we'll figure it out. The new piece will go in. You see all that? I wonder, is that looking the right way? New piece will go in here, and I'll keep on cutting around here and get rid of that rust. And then see how this piece here, there's a little bit of a bump out there. So now I guess that'll be a guide right there. Hard to say. Yeah, there's a guide right here, and it should be the same all the way down, and then that other piece will hook onto it. Okay, this door where you step piece will hook onto that. All right, I'll see what I can come up with here. Yeah, now there's two little spots in the frame, one here that was rusted. This piece here was rusted, so I figured I'd take them out and I'll replace them. That'll be I'll do that first, do this one second, then I'll start thinking about how to build the rest of this stuff around. But for now, I'll take a little break, I think. Yeah, there I'm back. I'll start making these pieces that I need. Anyway, but had a break, I guess we call it, eh? But here's something like, there you are. And so I've had this little Volkswagen van. There was a story about one of these things when the Porsche guys, they were out in the 80s, sometime in the 80s. They were out building a car for doing rally car rate stuff. And they wanted to have a machine that would keep up with them on the circuit, so they could test the car and watch it in real time and all that kind of stuff. So they took one of these vans, just like this one, not exactly like this one maybe, but it was actually like this model with the square type model that this one is, and they stuck in the back of it, they stuck a 6-cylinder Porsche motor, and then they beefed up the suspension, and so they'd have a pile of engineers in the back of the van keeping up with this Porsche rally car. And the only difference, everything looked the same, the only difference, there was a little Porsche symbol on the side here, right here. Apparently they made 3 or 6 of them or something. There's still 1 or 2 around somewhere. That's kind of cool. That'd be a pretty hopped up van if you ask me. Anyway, I'll carry on. You don't need any more stories. Bye for now. Yeah, so there I just tacked that in there. Can you see that? Yeah, I think so. Tack that in so that it's got a base plate now. And now I'll just put a top plate on here and see about welding it all together, and then I can get the spot welder on there to make a spot, right? Okay. Yeah, there now I tacked a little piece on the bottom of this again, and now I'm going to just tack it there at that side and tack it over here, a couple of spots. Then I'll spot weld it together and weld it all in. Same with this one, I'll spot weld this together and then weld it all in. Yeah, there I had spot welder out, spot welded those two pieces together, and now I'll just weld it up around the edges there and underneath, and that'll be that little bit of framework done. Yeah, there, that's done up there now. Nice thing about doing on the frame is you just run a bead along it and never worry about anything except for getting it welded up good and tight. So that's pretty good underneath too. Not very pretty underneath, but I'll take a grinder to that after a while. A little bit of a cutting in there. I should have welded that little bit up there. But perhaps I'll get a welder on that right now before I forget. Yeah, there, I cleaned this up here, but it's about quitting time. I think I had enough for the day anyhow. A little bit tired. So there we go. Got that fixed and that fixed, and then the floor cut out, and I'll think about this stuff for well, it's Friday afternoon, so that's pretty well the end of it today. I'll carry on next week, see where we get to next week. I was with the screwdriver on the other side there, and of course, don't you know, there's a hole that you can see right through there, maybe. Yeah, can you see that? Down there, there's a hole poked through with the screwdriver. So there's rusty spots everywhere, but that side there is not nearly as bad as this side here was. So that metal there will be on top of here soon, but that's tomorrow or the day after, whenever. Okay, I'll see you. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now. Yeah, so it's Friday. Where are they? Wait a second here. I think if I do that. Wait, there you are. Oh, look at that. There's me. Anyway, Friday, November 4th. Feeling pretty good. Got to take all the dressings off today, so it looks all right now. 4 little incisions that you wouldn't even hardly notice it was there. Now, the coming down to the beach again today, and it looks pretty good out here today. So here, I'll have a look. There go the ducks. You can hear them flying away. Quack, quack, quack. And the sun's out. It's surprisingly warm for November 4th. The last cruise ship for the season came out last night. No more cruise ships this year. 55 this year, I think, was the number. And 19 canceled, so there would have been 74 altogether. There goes a bunch of ducks over there. You see them? Yeah, quack, quack, quack. Anyway, the 19 were canceled due to Fiona. There we are. So, beach is looking pretty good. Tide's coming in. And another nice day out here. So there. See ya later. Hope you enjoyed it all.